What is up, my flat earthers and moon truthers? Aiden here. Let's talk about biofuels with corn.
The word corn comes from the Latin term cornu, meaning a piece of dead skin on the foot. But that's not the type of corn we're talking about today.
What's a biofuel, you nerd?
Well, let me answer that for you, my little amigo. Howdy!
Drive.
A biofuel is a type of renewable resource that comes from biological processes. Did you just ask what a renewable resource is? Well, good thing I know what it is. A renewable resource is basically a resource that replenishes itself to protect itself from resource depletion due to overconsumption and usage. Luckily so, because if resources like wood, leather, and paper were to disappear, it would result in a national, societal, or even global shutdown. Yeah. Okay. Renewable resources are needed due to the amount of fossil fuels and non-renewable resources we have left on Earth. Some sources say fossil fuels like oil will deplete in 53 years, natural gas in 54, and coal in a whopping but not so distant 110 years. That means in just about a century and a decade, we will have wasted away all of our natural resources, resulting in mass conflict, competition, and even a world-ending consequence. You must be wondering what the difference between a resource and a reserve is. Well, a resource is basically a supply, support, or aid that is readily available. A reserve is basically the full holding capacity of a resource that the Earth currently has in stock. Like that reserve of intelligence that Stefan has. Oh wait, just kidding. The greenhouse effect. Hey. The greenhouse effect is a big deal. I even got slides. The greenhouse effect is just exactly as it sounds. An effect that resembles a greenhouse. Basically, heat from the sun comes down, heats up all the particles in the atmosphere and can't get out. Now it comes down to the corn part. To make a fuel out of it, you don't exactly use the corn itself.
I'm trying to learn.
Here's my conspiracy and how it works. Come on. Instead of just crushing the corn and using it as fuel as you may think, we produce corn ethanol. Corn ethanol is made by fermenting corn and then distilling it so that all of its sugars, salts, and other cellular properties are separated. Then, after all that's done, it's able to be used in vehicles such as agriculture and just day-to-day vehicles. Then, after undergoing all those chemical processes, it's taken to an ethanol plant where it can be stored for a large amount of time. With corn-based ethanol, there are far more good things about it that outweigh the bad tenfold. For example, corn-based ethanol reduces 18 to 29% of GHG emissions per mile vehicles travel. A bad thing, however, is that ethanol absorbs water and is very corrosive. Therefore, special arrangements must be made to transport it, which isn't always environmentally friendly and most times counterintuitive to the reason we use ethanol in the first place. For small ethanol plants, these buildings can cost up to $60 million to produce, and that's not counting the technology needed to actually produce the ethanol. The plants on average give off about 87 megawatts of electricity, which is just about enough to fuel 150,000 homes. If we were to build 10,000 of those small ethanol plants, we would be able to fuel every single home on Earth. And in the long run, it really isn't that much. Although that does beg the question, with all these new types of renewable energies and ways to power our stuff, well, why aren't we using it? Many countries like China have yet to implement renewable resources from either a lack of effort, capitalistic reasons, or just using an easy way out, like coal. In China, they have an abundance of coal mines and an almost unlimited supply of coal that they can use for so many things. Governments don't want to implement renewable resources for fear that they'll have to spend more money than they have to, or they'll have to give up resources that are so easy to get, like coal, gasoline, or diesel. Oh hi! Countries like Iceland, Sweden, and Costa Rica lead the world in the strive for renewable energy. Canada, although not on the list for the leading renewable places on Earth, should be. Like I said, the corn-based biofuel removes 18 to 29% of GHG emissions from cars. The most beneficial place on Earth from this would be places around the East Coast, since corn and all other foods used for biofuels are grown there. Thanks for watching my video. Hope you aren't as half dead as I am. Well, enjoy the rest of the video, nerds.
Well, that was dumb.